complex analysis is spicy. Let's warm up just a touch. A touch of the warming up. Has anybody started on the homework yet? I don't want to look up.
I did.
Yeah? Oh, cool. Anything you want to talk about on that? Yeah. Okay.
I was kind of confused on how to like approach the first one, just because it like isn't just a 1 in the.
Gotcha.
Like, can we just like pull it? I can just read it off.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's z minus sine of z all over z to the 5th, and then the annular is 0 is greater than the modulus of z. Or less than. Sorry, less than. Yeah.
Wow.
I read it backwards.
So just the
Yeah.
punctured plane. What were we supposed to do here?
It just says expand. That's like all of them. They just expand the series.
Oh, okay. So I would just get the classic sine series out.
Okay.
Z minus z cubed over 3 factorial plus z to the 5th over 5 factorial. Plug that in, and this will be, yeah, that's really all you have to do, and then subtract that from z, and then divide every remaining thing by z to the 5th. And you will get a Laurent series, like a z to the negative 1 over z squared in it or something like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So pull up the sine series and then just kind of mess with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I-
That.
What were you gonna say?
What were you gonna say?
I had a question.
Cool, I like that. I don't have anything to say, Grace.
I don't know if this is a general thing or is it just my thing, but you know how I went to you and talked about how like the domains have to be the same, basically? Or like whatever.
Could you be more specific?
None things aren't matching up.
Okay, can I see what problem we're looking at?
I ended up with that when I'm supposed to do that. And I don't know what I did wrong, or if I did something wrong.
Okay,
Just-
now let me
Which
take a
one?
look. Okay, thanks. So we are looking at a new pen, because this pen's already roached,
Ugh.
right?
Can't have anything nice here.
Never. Come on.
It's not bad.
Hey, it's comparably crappy. Oh, no, I can't do it. I want,
It's a crisp.
yeah, you understand. You know what I'm saying. That's better.
Less crappy.
Less crappy, more crisp. All right, so we have this thing right here, and we want to expand that on this annular domain. Let me
Yes.
search it in here.
We did I think the same function at one point, but with a different domain. And we ended up with that domain because I just copied.
Right.
And I'm like, they're different.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
Okay, so center's at 0, and you did the right thing by pulling out the piece that's already Laurent centered at 0, so that's good. And we got this thing right here. So now, Grace,
I like,
yeah, where did you go next?
I pulled out a 3 from the denominator.
What would happen if we pulled out a z?
No, 3.
Oh, I know.
Oh, a z? Oh, it'll be 1, subtract then 3 over z.
So this thing right here tells me when you have the greater than, that's saying you want a 1 over, essentially. So you are looking, in fact, for a series that involves 1 over z. And so when I'm working with this thing, or probably this one here, I want to try to get blah over z inside of there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Or if the center was somewhere else, blah over z minus that center. So my tip is to pull out an extra z, and then what would be left here? And it'll all fall into place.
Great.
Could we not do, like, could we not take -1 out from the bottom?
Okay, let's try your plan here, Lavina. Let's go forth. So pull a -1 out, like this.
And then divide by 3.
Okay, cool. Let's actually, this is great. Let's have this conversation. It's a good conversation. So I'll put it like that. And
That's what I ended up getting.
this is totally okay, except that. Oh, let's see here.
Wouldn't z over 3 be greater than 0 and then 3? Oh, that
Yeah.
makes z
Well,
greater than 0.
So that will only convert, so we can only break this into a series when this happens.
Yeah, and then it'll end up being z is less than 3.
But we don't want z to be 0,
Mhm.
and this includes 0.
But like, why are those two ranges different? If like, they're, you know what? You
Yeah,
know
I
what?
understand what you're saying. So this series, this would be a great one to do if I had this. So on this annular domain, that is the way to go. Because we've got the z on top down here, and we're not getting the inversion there. The greater than part comes from excluding the 0. So this is legit, this is legit. It's just that each of these will be valid in different locations.
I'm just not comprehending how they're equal to the same thing, but they have different annular domains. You know what I mean?
Like you're saying, like,
So they aren't actually equal. You say, so how are they both equal
To that,
to this?
yeah, but they have different domains when you do it, like, separate it out differently.
Yeah, so let's, okay, I think I see your question. Oh my God.
hate it here. Is none of them working?
Son of a bitch. Well, it just makes that street.
Can this help, or can this just, let's just see. That looks not good. Oh my God. Hold on, be right back. I'm gonna go
It's
steal
a
it.
sheer disappointment.
It is utterly, yes, yeah.
Has he pressed yet? He hasn't pressed yet, has he?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I'm
Don't
so
mention
like
it.
desensitized that I'm like, no.
I'm just gonna not mention it.
Yeah, but then he's gonna start thinking about it again.
That's when he's gonna.
But I will call him out if he does.
You guys
Absolutely.
get my question, right? I'm
No,
not
yeah,
great
yeah.
at phrasing questions, but.
It's like both of them are saying from the same thing but giving different
You just did different math to get to
Well, like,
each
it's
one.
basically,
Yes.
I'm like, it's fine.
It could be.
Thank you.
You know how that we had like 2 different holes?
I think he's getting like a paper towel or something.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, no, he stole a whole eraser.
I stole this from Peace and Justice. But it's actually better.
That's all that matters.
Oh yeah, right? I mean,
It's less crappy. Gee.
infinitely less crappy. Oh gosh, okay, so that expression right there, let's look at C, is not defined here, and it's not defined here. So if we're going to expand around any point, let's say a point here, this would just be a normal Taylor series. Because we never actually include singularities that we don't center at. So if we have a singularity, you really want to understand what is happening near here. So if I were to go somewhere like right in the middle, and Lou kind of, or was it Noah? I think it was Noah that was having me go down this route. So if I did 1.5, then I would get a Taylor series with a radius of 1.5. And let's actually see what that would look like. So this thing here, if I was going to do that, this is, let's do a partial fractions decomposition. I've been enjoying just trying to wing these. So I want a 1 on top, and notice a z will come up over here, and a z minus 3 will come up here. The 1 has to come from this, so I'll put a negative 1/3 there. So now that times that gives me a positive 1 minus a third z, so I just need a plus a third z over there. Anyway, however you get these, you can get good at doing this, right? It's not too hard. So what I'm going to do next is create an expansion around 1.5 for each of these. So this first one, I'm going to say, okay, I want z minus 1.5, but then I need to add on 1.5. And then here I'm going to have 1/3. And I'm going to borrow 1.5. Okay, I haven't cussed. That's pretty good. So far so good. So like, wow, 20 minutes. So I'm going to play these two games. This should actually be that. Okay, there we go. So does this make sense, Grace?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I can do, get this into this form on both cases. This is going to be minus 1/3. I'm going to pull out the 1.5 here. And then I'm going to have 1 minus z minus 1.5 over 1.5. And then something kind of similar here. I'm not going to actually go do that, but it'll be really similar. And then this is just a geometric series. So here's the constant out in front, the terrible constant that combines fractions and decimals. But it is what it is. And then this just becomes 1 plus that squared. Or that, and then plus that squared, plus blah, blah, blah. And I do the same thing here, and I get a very similar series. There's no negative powers of z, I guess is what I'm saying. And the radius of convergence is set to 1.5 so that I don't encounter any singularities in the disk of convergence. So now let's go over to doing this as a Laurent series. I get to pick one of those two singularities to send.
Oh no.
Oh, I don't like it. You're right, Sydney. So let's say I pick the 0. Now right off the bat, look at how weird that series is going to look. It's not going to look anything like this. Is probably going to be somewhat beautiful right here. There's no 1.5s in this series. There's tons of weird ass 1.5 in this, like a donkey.
Sure.
You know. So this one looks really weird. Series are going to change their nature depending on where you center them. So this one looks really weird. This one isn't going to look weird. Maybe I'm not even. I think your question was, why do they look so different when it's the same thing? Is that right?
Yeah, like why are the domains different when it's technically the same?
Ah, okay, cool. Well, this domain over here is really strange compared to these two, right? So let's say we did 0. So I'm going to do an expansion around 0, and then here's the other singularity. That radius can only go up to 3, right? So. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, there's a lot of different ways we could go here. So for this one here, if we're gonna go at 0, this is really the best we could do. That's the biggest disk centered at 0 that I could have. What if I didn't want, oh, yeah, because I'm doing that at 0. Sorry, I'm just thinking a second. I'm trying to figure out how to, what if I wanted to avoid both the singularities though? What would that look like? So that would be all this out here. That one just completely avoids all, now I'm making it terrible inside, but that one completely avoids all the stuff inside here. So this actually avoids both the singularities and puts them outside of our concern. And if I did it at 3, I don't know, honestly, I'm starting to wonder if I'm even answering your question or not. But if I centered it at 3, oh, I think I've got a better answer for your question, Grace. I think I've convinced myself of a better answer. So if I center at 0, I don't have that many options. I could either do this inner disk here, or I could do this outer disk, this outer annulus here. Series just look different depending on where we're centering them, and I guess they just look different depending on the domain. I mean, think about a Taylor series in general. So if, just back in Calc 2, what am I doing here? There we go. This series is going to look completely different depending on where I centered it. If I was doing a series expansion of natural log, which has a terrible singularity at 0, I'm going to get a different answer. The series is going to look completely different if I go here, which would have a radius of convergence of 1, as opposed to if I went out to E and did it out here, which would have a radius of convergence of E. So things are just a little weirder in the complex plane, in that the domains can be more complicated and we have more options. You're probably like, yeah, that's the answer because I don't want to hear any more of this.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they just do.
Okay.
I could have said that like 20 minutes ago. Labina?
So since we are told to do this with c greater than 3, we have to do it like that. But if we are told not, like we weren't given any restrictions, we could do it anyway.
Several options. Yes. Oh, Grace, I got an answer. And now I have an actual answer for you. What if you wanted to create a series centered at 0, but you were actually interested in approximating the value of the function out here? You would have to use this domain centered at 0. What if I was interested in values near 0, approximating the value of the function near 0, then I would use the inside. Gee, Manelli. Took me a long time to get there, but I wasn't there until just now.
It happens.
It does.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's all right.
Once you get there, you know.
Just keep talking until something good comes out.
That's what I'm saying.
So, to get the one that's outside, we have to take a z out. And to get the ones that are inside, you have to take a number
Yes,
out, usually.
correct. So when you've got this part will come from a something over z minus c. And this part will come from a straight z minus c.
Okay.
Does that help too? Okay, cool. Lou? I thought you were gonna say something. You were.
Well, I have a question on a different problem.
Great.
Like, also, on Monday, we did talk about that when it's greater than, you should just take the reciprocal. So like, for instance, I found it easier to figure out what kind of z I was looking for, right?
Yes.
To get the, like, you end up with 3 over z, and so then you just figure out how to get that instead of like just trying to build it.
Yeah,
So that was kind of easier for me.
I think
as a tip for later.
that's a good strategy. So yeah, when you see this condition, think of it as 2 conditions. There's this and then the more traditional one. But everything has to come back. Remember, we're doing everything with this, where that is our thing we have to work with. So everything has to be converted into this. So to convert that into this, you would have to divide both sides by a, get this. But then you still have to take the reciprocal, so I kind of did that a little backwards. A over Z minus C. And this is what I think Lou is saying, to shoot, to take it and turn it into this. And see what happens.
It's like kind of like, cause right, I see like wanting to divide it by 3, but if you know that you're looking for 3 over Z, then you know to divide by Z instead of 3.
That makes so much more sense.
Cool, cool. Let's practice. Unless, Lou, you have
I
a question? Yes, please. Awesome.
We have 2 of these, or no, we've got 1. Where the annular, so it's centered at not one of the denominators. So like it's centered at 1 and neither of the.
Oh, cool. Can you give me the?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
So f of z is equal to 1 over z minus 3, or z times z minus 3. There's like parentheses.
Oh, okay.
Z parentheses and z minus 3.
Cool.
And then the annular is 1 is less than z plus 1, which is less than 4.
Cool. So let's actually draw this out and see if it makes sense, because we know we can't have 3 in our domain or 0 in our domain. So here we have a disk centered, or an annulus centered at -1, and the inner radius is 1, like so. So z can't be 0. Did I draw that right? Z can't be 0, because then we have to be a little bit bigger than 1, so z can't be 0. But now I'm thinking,
So it's got a big hole in the middle, and
yeah.
then it's got an outside one. But I was just
Yeah.
like, how do I start this?
and then this one goes up to the edge of the 3.
Yeah. And then it's everything in between.
And it's everything in between. So this cuts out the 0 here, and this cuts out the 3. So what was your question on that?
Just like, how do
How?
I even start that? Because we didn't really deal with when
Yeah.
it's, also if like one of them isn't 0, I feel like we did a lot where it's like greater than 0, and it's just,
Cool. Awesome. Let's take a look at it. So what I would do here is get first force in this z plus 1. You probably here need to do a partial fractions decomposition first. So let's do that. Is that what we want to do? Yeah. So let's take a look at this really quick and just see what we could do just a little bit. We need to get, instead of z's, we need z plus 1s as the heart of our pattern. So then this would be -4 for that piece. And then this piece here would be z plus 1 minus 1. And each of these is going to become a series unto itself. But one of them's going to, in one of them, I'm going to divide by z plus 1, and then the other I'm going to divide by the constant and get that. But this would involve term by term multiplication of series. So one thing we could do is rewrite this. Let's see, that's a -3 or -4 plus z plus 1. And then over here times this series here, which is -1 plus z plus 1 over 1. So I could do this series, and for this one, do you see where the 4 is going to come from now?
yeah.
So this one, since I see the 4 over there, this is the one where I'm going to divide by 4 and not z minus 1, because this is a classic Taylor series right here. The less than is where I don't want the 1 over z stuff going on. So for this one, I would just factor out a -4th, put it on top, and then this is going to be 1, I don't know why I keep doing those extra parens, 1 minus z plus 1 over 4. And that'll plunk right into this formula really quite beautifully, and that will converge when z plus 1 over 4 is less than 1. That's our right condition. Times this guy here, and this is the one where the inner condition, the greater than condition is gonna come from. So for this one, I'm gonna pull out z plus 1 here. And then I'm gonna be left with 1 over, and maybe a negative 1 as well. So it's 1 minus, 1. Now pull out just a plus 1. So it's negative 1 over z plus 1 plus 1. And then I would reverse those and still use that formula. Use the minus version of that formula, which I don't know why I wrote that like that. And so this will become a Laurent series in, let's do this, because I want you to see this. I don't think this is a good way to proceed, but it is a way to proceed. What I do recommend though, is to just, I would say do a partial fractions first on this, which we already did, and then do this game. Do the same game for each of these things, but on these two separate pieces and add term by term.
Wait, so you want us to do the partial fraction way?
Yeah, don't do this way, because I'm gonna do this whole way. What, did you already do it this way?
No, I was just,
Okay,
my
cool.
brain's very slow today.
It's okay, and I'm very spazzy, so, my condolences. So we have minus 1/4, and then this one's gonna be 1 plus, and then times this dude, which is 1 over z plus 1. You'll see why this is maybe not the greatest route. This is gonna be freaking horrible. This is gonna be intractable, but we should see this together. We should do a journey to hell at the same time, because that's what we're gonna do. So this is 1 minus this, that's what's in the box. And that's gonna be 1 plus 1 over z plus 1 plus 1 over z plus 1 squared, blah, blah, blah. Is that all making sense? Yeah. So now what I have to do is group together terms. Think of FOIL, but infinite FOIL. So, for example, there is no low-hanging fruit. Because what will give us a constant? So 1 times 1 gives us a constant, but also z plus 1 over 4 times z plus 1, or times 1 over z plus 1, that'll just be a 4th. Okay, watch.
The disappointment.
Oh, no, it's fun. It's actually going to be kind of cool, but what the hell? We're friends. We can.
We're besties, Dr.
We're besties. We can do this. So 1 times 1. First off, I'm just going to put the constant right here, and then I would have to do the same thing for the z plus 1 to the first terms, z plus 1 squared terms, and we're going to get an infinite series for each of these. Okay. So 1 times 1 is 1.
Beautiful.
This times the second term over there is a quarter. This times the second term over there is 1 over a quarter squared.
Beautiful.
And then so forth and etc. So there's a geometric series.
I like that.
You like that? Yeah. And that we can actually sum up because r is a quarter. So this would equal 1 over 1 minus a quarter. So 4/3. I think this turns into. The constant term is 4/3 there. And that'll cancel with F4 there and all sorts of shit. Then I would have to go through and now do the z plus 1 terms, but then there's also, I have to do every negative power because look, everything in this series can be multiplied by 1, so all these will appear in the final series. It's just like, I'm not going to say it because I said I would, it's a cluster of some
Yeah,
kind.
it is. Cluster insert.
Cluster blank. So let's actually, so the way to do this, Lou, is
Not like that.
not like this. do not do it, but I'm glad we did it, because sometimes it's good to, you know, go into the bad place, dark places together.
The depths, if
The
you will.
depths
The
into,
trenches.
yes, into the underworld. So do this as this. And then this one is, then rewrite it in term, then rewrite it like this. And then play the game, pretty much both these games. And then you can add term by term and combine like terms. Okay, is that,
Yeah, no, that
Oh.
totally answers my question. I was
Okay.
just like, how do I start this? Because I was like, it's not centered at the singular. Like, I'm just like, it's
yeah,
weird, and I'm like, okay.
are you at all done with your homework?
I have started and
Cool.
done most of them.
Let's work on the homework for the rest of the hour.
Yay!
And so, but with the cost being, we're meeting on Monday, that was not unexpected, and I would like you to please read section 6.4 starting into 6.5, please.
Easy.
And that's
For
it.
you.
And into 6.5, which is the residue theorem. This is a lot of definitions, and it'd just be cool if we didn't have to have me read to you.
It would be really cool if you didn't have to read to me.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Respectfully.
Unless it was a nice story, a
Yeah,
lovely story.
not definitions and theorems and stuff. I'm okay with all that.
Who's coming to math club today?
Oh, yeah.
Yay, we're gonna do platinum problems.
Yay!
Yay!
Are we doing the ones from, like, what?
I've got last year's exam
Ooh.
and the one before.
Okay.
And we can pick whatever we want off of there.
This was the last one. Is this homework last?
Homework next is called an exam,
Of the take home variety.
the take-home variety.
Numbers might
I'm
be.
gonna so miss you lately.
I'm gonna miss you too. I think I talk to you more than I talk to most humans. I talk to more math people than I
You'll
talk
come back and you'll be the superstar. When you come back, you'll come back, you'll like pop by a class one day and you'll go, hey, and everybody go, sit
I think I'm just gonna come to these classes.
Yes, please.
Unless we're talking before 10.
Actually, all my classes next semester are after 11.
Oh, that's a change.
After
No, after 11. Math.
You don't start until 11?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm like, there's no class that starts at 3:11. That's a weird time to start.
Does anyone have access to email really easily?
Email?
Like,
I can.
You know, could you email me, this is just an email to me that says, reply to student. Thank you, Grace, I appreciate you, thank you. Someone was asking to get into modern geometry and this conversation reminded me of it, and I have not replied to her yet.
Does that mean we have like a full class for modern
We have, it's probably the fullest of the upper levels,
What?
I
I'm
miss
surprised.
geometry.
it's crazy.
Life was so much simpler.
But there's always room,
Yes.
always room.
I wanna go back to doing geometry.
I can't wait to learn geometry.
I thought geometry was so fun in high school.
Oh,
Oh, what?
this is, wait, you didn't do, but did you take modern geometry here?
Maybe we should just take that class.
You gonna pay for it? Cause I'm not.
I mean, you don't
You
have
can just come on
to
in.
like
Yeah.
take it.
Well, you're
just
teaching,
come.
right?
I'm teaching it.
Yeah, I don't.
So now you
Shit.
know it's okay.
Yeah, you
I'm
can
ready
just
for shit.
come.
And math should be free.
I have a question for you. So
Yeah.
this is how I was starting this one. I was breaking it apart differently.
Hmm.
If I like went through and like multiplied that out and then did this subtraction, would that work?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Okay. I was like, this looks really weird. and
Yeah,
different.
there's
They're just like
nothing wrong with that. at all.
okay.
Just
Okay.
order of operations. and-
Actually, I just wanted.
Yeah.
Could you just like
Mhm.
do a quick look over to make sure I'm like doing these right?
Yeah, you bet.
Also, I was kind of like, I don't know how I'm supposed to like wordily explain what I'm doing because I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
So explain, ask your question.
Like
Yes.
Do it.
I wanna make sure I'm doing this right, but also, I know you asked me to.
Oh,
like,
right, a
for-
little more.
Yeah.
Right, right.
I'm just not sure how to like
Well,
approach it.
that's okay. For this
Because
is-
it's just like, I'm just
Agreed.
doing it, there's
Agreed.
there's not like, I don't feel like
This
there's a
isn't
lot
a
of theory
proof
behind
for,
it.
yeah, this isn't a full argument
This is
involving
6.5.
lots of different
Yeah.
things, and that's
Okay.
when I mostly
Yes.
want that
Okay.
to tie together
Okay.
the disparate pieces, but, okay, so, let's see here.
This is the one that we just talked about.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's,
yeah.
that's the route. Yeah, that is the route, that
Yeah.
looks good.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that'll
and then
be
I just did the
beautiful.
full stuff.
And then, yeah, this is the way too. And then that's just a route term, so that's great. Yeah, beautiful,
Okay.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, and then I just did go through and do that one.
Okay, you're rocking
But
it,
then
yeah.
there's one, there was the last one. Just wanna make sure I got that one. Going right to, it wasn't, that one, honestly, the one that I asked about, that had that nasty stuff, that last one was the one that was like, that one looks really hard and like.
Yeah, yeah. So
It's
this
like-
one's nice. Does this have
Yeah.
two different, does it have two different regions or just that
No, you
region?
can eat
Just
that,
that's it.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, that, I won't lie, I was kinda like, man, this one in the middle is probably the one that I would we didn't, like, necessarily cover how to, like, tackle.
Yeah, for some reason I thought that would involve the binomial expansion, just,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. If it was around two, it would, but,
Yeah.
yeah, it looks beautiful.
Okay, awesome.
Nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Example of like lime chickpea peas, and no, it was small, and
Hi.
yeah, it was weird.
Came to see
I
how
just
you're
had
doing.
one like single
Are you?
piece.
How are you?
So
Did you know that I would be?
I love lime. I'm also
Is there
Mexican,
anything I can do to
so
help
we
you?
eat lime on
I think he
everything. We put lime in everything. I will
Okay.
drink.
I see that, yeah, that dude seems like he knows something, so,
I love lime.
cool.
I'm not much of a like spicy person. I don't love spicy, but
Okay, do you want me to just let
I
you
don't
go?
love spicy.
Okay, alright. You know I'm here if you need anything, okay?
I love that.
These are gaps. Did you get these from the Gap?
They're really good.
These are really good.
What are they?
Chili pistachios.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Want to try one?
Yeah, I don't know if Dr. Patnut's making something like this today. I don't know, yeah, I put that in the little email.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't know. Do you know what she's?
Oh, I didn't say what she was making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was savory spiced nuts of some kind.
Oh. They're pretty good.
I could eat the hell out of
Those are,
I've just been snacking on them this whole time.
um,
I'm good. You said you're hungry.
I bought a bag of those, they're like tubes that are covered in red spicy powder, taquitos or, no,
Takis.
Takis.
I don't like those.
I
God.
love talking.
Oh, they were horrible and addictive. I couldn't stop at the same time. And then my face, my hands are all red.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
should try that.
See,
Oh,
I don't like hot Cheetos or Takis or anything like that.
Mhm.
Those are not my favorite thing in the world.
Mhm.
I don't know why. It's not like they're too spicy or anything. It's just like I don't know. I just don't like them.
That's okay. And you don't have to explain. You don't owe us anything.
I don't like
We have these small snack thingies in Bangladesh. Technically, it's not a snack by itself, you have to eat it with something else. But I always eat it by itself.
No, as you should.
And like so there's different varieties of that, practically like chips, but it's not chips. I'm planning on bringing a bunch of those, cause I
That
miss
sounds
them.
yummy.
I'll bring some for you. Also, I'm gonna bring you like, it's not chutney, but it's tamarind achar.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
bring some for you.
Oh, please,
Yeah,
thank
'cause
you.
mentioned chutney,
Yeah,
I'm like,
God, I'm addicted to achar. I
Yeah.
have jars of it. And just eat them. And just eat the jars of them.
My
It's so
mom
good.
said
What
it
is
like-
this? What are we talking about?
Indian pickle.
Yeah. Indian
Oh.
pickle.
I'm not a big fan of pickles.
This isn't like any pickle, probably.
Absolutely not like other pickles. Plus, it's homemade, so even better.
I didn't think homemade was
I would love a recipe. Cause for
Okay.
making maybe like a lime pickle. Do you know how, do you have a recipe for lime pickle?
I'm pretty sure my aunt does, because she makes all sorts of pickles.
Hmm.
Mango, lime,
it's salty and this, it's ridiculous.
It is. I'm like,
Yeah, I want it now. It's like when you know, you know.
But
You never
those
forget.
things, they have like different flavors, and I'm gonna bring some. And normally there's like a barbecue flavor that's kind of sweet, and then there's like the spicy ones. And my mom always mixes those two because I absolutely hate the barbecue ones, so that I can't just finish the spicy ones.
I'm not a fan of, barbecue sauce is okay in the right place.
Yeah, but those are so good. Absolutely.
Alright, I'm excited.
It's
Please,
it might be
please.
really spicy, but
Oh no, that's great. I bought some from, there's some Indian grocery nearby that I've been checking out, and I bought their hot pickle. The guy was helping me, he's like, do you like things hot? And I was like, I like things hot. Too much, it was habanero, it was, oh my god, it was not fun.
see,
How hot do you
Asian
like? Yeah.
hot is something you have to be careful.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why every single time I go to an Asian restaurant, I'm wondering whether it's like a whitewashed Asian restaurant where the spice level is like low, or is it an actual Asian restaurant? Because their difference, like a 7 at a white level restaurant is like a 2 at an Asian level. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but like a 7 at Asian level is gonna be, oof. So,
I feel like I've been taught lessons at Asian restaurants in the past, when I would say like, oh, they're like, how hot do you like it? I'm like, I like it really hot. I want it Thai hot or something like that. And then they're like, oh, okay.
Are you sure?
And then, yeah, it's just like, crying.
yeah.
I used to be able to handle my spices, but my uncle, like, even the slightest bit of spice, he's gonna start sweating all over.
Well, at home, I have a hot sauce can that is literally like 1 drop of it in a soup, and it makes it so spicy. It's like this.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't like spice. I like I will get mild green chili because I care more about the flavor. I don't like the flavor of spice.
Are these on the cusp of your spicy? There's a little
No, like
spice.
these are really good. These are manageable. I could sit here and snack on these. But like if we're talking like a whole meal, I want to be able
Like a meal where
to
your
taste
legs
it.
are sweating at the end of the meal.
Yeah, I don't need that. I want to be able to taste and enjoy it without my tongue being on fire.
See, that's why I don't like American spicy food. Because it's almost always like, it's spicy, but it doesn't have any weight to it.
No flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's just like the pepper spray.
Yeah, it hurts. It just hurts. There's no gratification to it.
Yes,
It
Yeah.
doesn't have that flavor to it.
that's correct.
I have a question.
Hi, cool.
I did this, to try to take the sign out, but then I'm like, that is, a transfer.
So tell me what what are you trying to do here? You said take the sign out.
Well, cause you told us to like take it out so we can expand this sign. Right? Or did
Yes.
I not do that right?
Maybe in a different order
Okay.
than maybe like different punctuation. So
Okay.
so first off, let's talk about what you're doing here. You're introducing a z minus 1.
Yeah.
This is centered at 0, so that is taking you away
Okay.
from where you want to go. So I would leave that as z to the 5th. So there's 2 routes here you could do. You could break this, and this is what Lou is doing over there, breaking into z over z to the 5th minus sine of z over z to the 5th. Another option, not any better or worse, it's just another option. Replace sine of z with the series we know for it. So so this is z minus parentheses, plug the series in, and then just do the simple arithmetic that will follow from that. You're making this, you're making your life way too hard. Yes.
I tend to do that a lot.
It's okay. Luckily, you knew, your intuition told you, this isn't.
I saw that and I'm like, ooh,
Yeah,
no,
No,
that's
no,
not
no.
good.
But I would say the main problem there was introducing the z minus 1.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, you look like a console is, you're done?
Yeah. What? Yeah, I just had it. Unless it's like big one.
Oh, this
Just have
sucks.
big one, look.
I'm sure it's right, and I'm gonna be, kind of go find something for you to do. Yeah, that looks right. Oh, so we were doing this one up here. Oh.
Yeah. I was like following along with it because I was like, oh, this looks like it's, and then you're like, oh yeah, don't do that, and I just was like, okay.
Yeah, actually, and
Not worth it.
there's actually there's only one thing that combines, and it's, I would just combine those two, but that's not even a problem for you, it's just, let's work on a different one together.
Okay.
Let's find a hard one.
Okay.
I'm hoping this is one of those times where you're gonna talk yourself through it while you're talking at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another question. I've talked to Dr. Palmer about it, and it's like very far ahead in the future. But in the spring of next year, I'm looking to do a math independent study. Would you be like open to doing that?
This coming spring?
No, next year.
Oh, maybe,
In a full year.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm like.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. If not, like
If,
I was just like,
as long as we could be flexible about meeting times and
I'm pretty flexible
whatever.
about meeting times. I realistically I am kind of looking to it because I need to stay full time, and there's
You don't
math
wanna just take
classes.
crap.
No,
Yeah.
like, well, I'm already picking up a Latin minor, which I'm pretty excited about, because I've just been really enjoying that, and it's kind of totally useless for like most things, but I'm liking it. But
Yeah,
even
let's
with
do it.
even with that, okay.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. And would you be cool with occasionally meeting by Zoom or something like
Yeah,
that? And
that's
some people
totally-
are really against that, but
No, I mean, I would generally prefer to keep the majority of it off of Zoom, especially if it's more of like a learning day than like
oh
asking
yeah,
about questions.
yeah.
Just because I personally I just cannot focus on Zoom.
Yeah.
Like I can like if it's like talking about how to do something,
Yeah.
but like learn.
I'm just thinking it might be challenging for me to meet like a regular
Yeah.
3 hours a week.
Oh no.
And I don't even think you need that.
No. I wasn't sure. I'm still
You're
trying to figure
you're
out.
pretty self-driven, so yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's just kind of keep this on the down low.
Yeah. No, I asked Dr. Penrod about it because she's my like advisor
Yeah,
and
yeah.
head and stuff, and I was just like, "Do you think like I could do this? Because there's no classes up."
Yeah, right. I know. I know. Honestly,
like-
I've been thinking about you and worried about what are we gonna do for a little.
Yeah, my last 3 semesters, I'm taking 12 and then 14 credits, respectively, and I'm gonna try and, as long as we're having it, I'm gonna try and take like the math stats too.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
maybe it could be
that's what
we could
I'm
even do
looking into.
topology, which was something
Yeah,
you were interested in.
I was, last night I kind of slept and I was like, I was like, maybe I could see about taking something that like I'd probably take in grad school and like just
Yeah.
kind of dipping my feet in. And see
Yeah,
about
and you
it.
could do more than dipping your feet. Yeah, I think you could go swimming. So yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I wasn't totally sure what I wanted to do yet.
Okay.
I was just kind of.
There's lots of time to think about it.
Yeah,
but,
no, I just kind of was like,
So far.
I was like,
I mean,
at least to me, I like to like try and like get things worked out a bit in advance and like ask with time to like
yeah.
think about it and stuff.
What might be cool too is trying to figure out some kind of a research project
Yeah,
and turn that into just as an independent study and
Grace.
yeah,
something that's worth pushing forward. I've got like an idea. I just don't know if it's a great idea.
yeah.
It's this chaotic origami thing that I've been playing with. It involves dynamical systems and chaos and folding paper. And I can tell you about it sometime. Maybe you'll find something interesting in it. I just haven't pursued it a lot.
That's
Socks is one thing.
yeah.
I'll
No,
do that.
like I'm trying to
I'll
go do
do-
research.
You
on
have,
some
at least you
numbers.
have something like.
Are you?
there.
Yeah.
You doing RUs?
I want to apply.
You're applying for RUs?
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
don't
like.
even go barefoot in my
I
own,
feel like a lot of them haven't like come up yet because I just keep looking and there's like
It's
not
a
ton.
little early. It's a little early, but I
Yeah.
feel like in December they'll start coming out.
Yeah. No, so like I'm looking at doing that. I'm probably gonna spend a good chunk of my winter break like looking through, figuring out which ones
Anyways.
like interesting to me
We have
and like would cover stuff. Cause like I've seen somewhere it's like, yeah, you gotta pay to get out here. You gotta pay to
It
live out
was,
here. It's like, oh,
Oh, that you don't want
yeah.
that.
No, I'm like that is not worth it. Like
No.
it would be cool, but also like that's
Which is why we have like.
instead of like maybe putting a little
I was
money in
like,
my
wait, I
pocket and
don't
doing doing
I
something
don't walk
interesting.
around
It's,
my own
Absolutely.
house. I'm a
And
parent
yeah,
teacher,
doing
like,
something
every
and
week.
networking and meeting all sorts of
I always have socks.
smart math people and
I will do songs.
that's that'd be you'd be perfect for that.
I'm really
It's our
interested in
house, but I
doing
have
it.
like my own bathroom.
I thought
So it's my
I do
bathroom.
this summer probably
And
works.
it's like no one else
crappy
is in my shower, and
part time
it's
job.
my bathroom. I'm okay doing
Yeah,
that.
that's okay. That's okay.
No,
Well,
it's not a
I
bad
mean,
thing.
hopefully
I think
not.
it's-
Maybe I mean
Cause like,
you are gonna apply
Yes.
for our use.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me know if you need a letter.
and
Okay.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of foot
I,
traffic.
I am
'Cause
tempted
I
to
feel like
like get a small
if anyone
light
can do
and
that.
have all my freshmen see
Yeah.
how disgusting.
Yeah.
Also, I was hoping that it would like give me a taste for what like, I do
That's
in
how
like,
we
grad
do it.
school and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
I'm
like, I don't know what I'd do.
I mean, or
That's literally
you know,
why
independent study, we
I-
could keep
I
pushing
don't know
forward
why
with
it's like, but I've
analysis.
been so
Yeah.
like,
Or do something like differential geometry
Yeah.
or
I was seeing stuff about like
Uh-huh.
partial differential equations.
I
I was
yeah,
like, I was
yeah.
like,
Oh, that's crazy. That's
Oh,
pretty
okay.
neat stuff. I did one of my qualifying exams in PDs. It's been ages, but
Yeah. No, I was like, okay, I'm taking differential
Can I
equations
see the
this
questions?
spring.
Uh,
Like, I guess I'll figure out what they are in general.
2-8.
Cause I know it's like
Well, I know, but, like,
multi-order derivative
I don't
kind
wanna
of stuff.
search them up.
yeah.
Oh, here's
Yeah,
two.
so the DiffEq, the differential equations we study in the spring are just, there's one output and one input.
Okay.
In PDs, there's one output but multiple inputs.
Okay.
So if you were, so like with what we're doing, we could study temperature change in a rod.
Yeah.
But with PDs, you could study temperature change across a plate or in a space,
Okay.
which is more what physicists do. You know, that's
Yeah,
how you study
that's-
turbulence and fluid dynamics. Those are all
Yeah.
PDs.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Well, let's find a good problem to do here. Let's see if we can find, look in the, it might not even be harder ones. Gosh, I don't know. Have you looking, have you been looking?
Not a ton. I've been kind of just like
Just
trying to make sure I get everything
enough to, like,
done.
get
Yeah.
Just
Not
other
very deep.
classes and what they
Mm.
Olivia, shut up.
I'm not doing 13 journals. I'm already too tired for that shit.
Too, if you want the rest of them.
I might do one. What was I doing? Oh, I was doing one more.
Mm.
Where is 24? I think it's the end of 25. There is no 24.
That's what it says.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything was fine when I could just take out.
Yeah,
the
those look
receipt.
brutal. Those would be,
Can't just
I don't really understand the point of having that as an assignment, but go to Wolfram Alpha and ask it what the Laurent series is, right?
If we do,
I wish I'd brought a different book. I need to start bringing a different book. Oh, yeah, the problem, I don't think anything gets any harder than what we've done. You could start actually checking out the next section.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah, I think that's probably good,
Yeah.
because I can't put anything hard off
That's
the
alright.
top of my head, yeah.
babe, I just wrote it down.
Oh,
That looks fine. Not there yet.
Everything cool over here? Anything I can help with? Lots of ums and, wow, it's a symphony.
do I know, cause you know how like, we know that if we did the other ones, I don't know where we went.
You're speaking too precisely today.
Sometimes Grace does that.
You know how there's that thing, and then when stuff happens, other things can be?
Sometimes it doesn't work, but you know how with these ones,
Yes.
they do the thing is, that's the, with the sign
Okay.
one, how do you know what that is and if it matches this?
Oh, first off, so, no, it's okay, it's okay. I just let me get a piece of paper to write, because I need to. how do you know you did it right? That's a great question. So first off, we know, right, you obviously got that, right? Blah, blah, blah. So this is a Taylor series centered at 0. And I know that because it has a radius of convergence that's like, well, there's just z minus 0 everywhere. So this is centered at 0. And the radius of convergence turns out to be everything. So it's good all over. So we know that. That would be true for that one, the cosine, and then the e to the z, they all have the same
Yes.
disk of convergence.
Which is fine because this would be.
Yeah, and we could put a minus infinity over here, and that'd be cool. But the minute you divide by 0, you want to avoid 0. So that's all that part is doing, is saying z can't be 0.
Yeah.
So, I need to have, yeah, and there's clearly gonna be stuff, there's gonna be z's in denominators, no matter what we do. So there's almost no other way. You're asking really good questions that I feel like I'm not answering well. They're like deep, that's kind of a deep question that I feel like I'm floundering in explaining it to you. How do you know you're doing it? How do you know it's right? Holy shit.
Especially since like this one is like the infinity, so it's like,
Well, so, okay, how about this? If I said, hey, find me the series expansion of this. Well, we can do this series expansion, it's that, and we know that this condition needs to be true. Which basically just means if there is no condition on z.
yeah.
As soon as I do this, this means z can't be 0. So all I have to do is describe the plane with z not equal to 0, so it's everything. What is another way to say that? This. This just means z can't be 0. When you see this, this is the same thing as that.
I was thinking like. Wait, no.
Why are there z's in the bottom?
Oh, right, okay, never mind, I got it now. My brain's.
Do you got it now?
Yeah.
But let's look at this one really quick. So if I did this one, what would this one look like? What sine of z over z, what would that series look like?
It'll be basically all of this divided by z.
Yeah, so
It'll
there's,
be 1 z squared.
so there's no 1 over z's in there.
Mhm.
But that's okay. We still, for this expression to make sense, z can't equal 0. The series is a little bit different. As soon as I put that in, same condition needs to be held, but then all of a sudden now I'm going to get an extra z division by z. And you're just going one level deeper.
So then, back to the question of whether, how do I know if I'm doing it correctly? Or like, you know.
Can you ask that a different way?
Different way,
Grace said, well, no.
What do you mean? What does it
Okay.
mean to say that?
how
Ask that.
are there like sanity checks besides the interval that I can do to make sure that I'm going the right direction when I'm doing this? 'Cause you know,
Yeah.
does that make sense, or am I just making it more?
No, no, okay. So, as you do these things, you're going to be, I'm glad I'm not standing in front of the class. That one about this, okay, let me think.
Take your time.
Okay.
What did I miss?
Bless you. Grace is just asking all of these questions, and Dr. T is like,
Short circuit.
yeah.
Like,
I come back and we're in a crisis.
who are
Dr. T is
you?
in crisis right now, yes.
Where am I?
What is the meaning of
All these questions are
Bless
very
you.
hard to
Bless you.
answer. Okay. So one thing I would say is you're doing just legitimate mathematical operations.
Yeah.
And right, and that's definitely happening. So you're on the course that way.
So, we split it up.
I mean, in some ways, it's just do it.
Okay.
You know, just do it. But like, how you can check out at the end is,
Okay, so we split it up. Is this what you, oh, hi. Is this what you did, you split it up?
okay, I think I have something for you.
Okay.
So the way we're doing this now is very different than that.
Explain.
Right.
Mhm.
So when you're doing it like this, it's really just a matter of getting these formulas and doing simple arithmetic and just simplifying. And what you get is good, is right.
Because
Alright.
When
So
I'm
imagine
doing
there was
that
a
kind of
Z
stuff,
plus
things
one
become
over
a
here
little
in the
more
bottom two.
murky.
you'd still pull out that Z
So
one
to
over
check to see if I'm
Z to
doing
the
it
thing,
right
because
here,
it's already set.
as I go through and I do things like
Yeah. So then you're just applying
this,
that
this move that I
to
did
all of the
here.
terms here.
When I went from here into this,
Okay.
Yeah.
this move
So
right
when you
here
apply it out, it's
means that
this will still expand no matter what.
this
and
has
then
to happen.
applying it is throwing that part on and is like expanding.
Yeah.
right, the thing in the box has to be less than
And
one,
then the minus
which
thing
means that,
is
and that's
the
just
same.
one is greater
It's just like
than
more
this.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Because
Yeah.
you could also
So
like
as I
add a
get
sign,
These
then
things here will be
minus
your
sign,
sanity
and then just divide
checks.
the whole thing.
Okay.
This
Okay.
kind of condition,
So it's
because
just
look
like-
at this
it's
one,
like
this one
about
says z plus
what-
1 is less than 4.
Or do you want to go down the steps?
Okay.
So you can get sanity checks by doing this stuff and making sure that you're actually meeting these inequalities, the annulus condition. That's how I check myself. That's how I know if I'm doing it right.
Well,
And then
the
just
sides
doing
are
it a
still
lot.
Okay.
And feeling
Well,
less
the instance
insecure
factors
about
are-
it.
Yeah, that tends to be my issue.
Yeah, yeah. But you're doing great.
Okay.
I
Thanks.
And we can talk about it anytime. So come on by. If you like doing one later, I'll be in my office a lot today. So
Okay.
cruise on by. Cruise when you're all chilling. Did I record that? No. I hope I stopped the recording. No, I didn't. Curses.
Sorry.
Disclaimer.
I am not good at
We
like
got 5 minutes.
narrowing, I guess, or like wording. What's
That's
going
okay.
on.
I'm not doing very good at answering.
No, you're
Um,
good.
God help you if you watched this today. Be well, my friend.